Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Nest Guard security system. Now, this is a bundle that includes the Guard, as I mentioned, 2 Nest Detect sensors, which you can use either for common spaces for general motion detection, or you can attach those to windows and doors. You'll see them when I get them out of the box. You also get 2 Nest tags, which you can see right here. That is to deactivate the system upon entry rather than having to use a code on the Nest Guard system. And then last but not least, a Nest indoor camera. And this bundle was $250 US, which I thought was a relative bargain considering I think it retails for somewhere around $500. And I am pretty much all in on Nest in terms of every single type of product that they make, pretty much, just about all of them. And I thought it made sense at this price considering that indoor camera alone still retails for over $100 US. It just seemed like a no-brainer. So here it is. Let's get it out of the box. Let's take a look at what you get. Unfortunately, Home Depot, you know, this thing came opened. I noticed that today the seal's broken already, but hopefully everything looks like it's new, so let's see. So first and foremost, we have the Get Started documentation right there. And again, I'm hoping this is all new. If it's not, it'll have to go back. And as I mentioned, they're just, you know, pointing you at the Nest app, then add the Nest Guard first, then add Nest tags and Nest Detects, and then last install the camera. Now, I already have cameras, I have thermostats, I have pretty much everything that Nest makes, as I mentioned. So it was logical for me to get to this, but if this has already been used, which it hasn't, thankfully, this is still sealed, then I would have an issue with it because it would make me feel like I was buying a security system that, frankly, had been tampered with, and that's just about the last thing you ever want to buy, right? So here we've got the Nest camera, self-explanatory. I already have several of these, so can always use another. It will be good to use maybe for the puppy. I've been using a Wise Cam, which is fine, but of course not in the same league as the Nest indoor cameras. But let's take a look at this, because this is really why I purchased this unit, because this is the security system. And you can link this to emergency services. I think they have a contract. It's either with Brinks. I don't remember who the vendor is, but you can actually connect this to emergency services. You know, if you're looking to do that because you're going to get, not only because you want the security, but also because you're looking to maybe get a discount on your homeowners. So that's another good reason to pick that up, you know, if it actually saves you some money and gives you peace of mind. But this does work independently, even if your Wi-Fi is down, which is another nice thing about the Nest Guard, is that it will actually still communicate, I believe, that's my understanding, with the main servers. So essentially that gets hardwired. Here are all the goodies in here. And, you know, the ideal positioning on something like this, you're just going to plug this in right here, I believe, is that you're going to want to put this obviously at an entry point. Let's see if I'm plugging that in correctly. Yeah, I did have that correctly. So you're going to want to put this at an entry point, so your front door, somewhere, you know, with easy access. And then what I really like about this is that the alarm that it sounds, I believe, also syncs up with all of your other Nest devices. So again, if like me, you have, you know, home hubs, trying not to activate it right now during the course of this video, and you also have CO detectors, all that jazz, then maybe this is going to sync up. Either way, the high pitch alarm on this is pretty potent from what I've heard, and you know, just hardwire that into, again, an outlet, so nothing crazy there, and then we should have our sensors in here. And there's that whole set. Now, paperwork I'm going to put aside, but as I mentioned, these tags, essentially, you know, keychain tags that you're going to want to pick up extras if you need them. And instead of having to put in your security code, you can just, I believe, touch them to the base and it'll disarm the alarm. So these are fairly straightforward. Now, the expensive part of this affair are these sensors. So As I mentioned, you get 2 of the Nest Detect sensors, and you can use these as general motion detection or apply them. You see they have double-sided, well, they have single-sided tape there, so they can stick to either windows or doors that you plan to use as trigger points if they actually go off. Now, from what I've read and seen, the one thing you have to be concerned about with these little guys is that if you have pets, which I do, there is a threshold in terms of size for motion detection where the system can decipher that it is a pet and not set off the alarm. However, if it's a larger dog or if a cat, tends to run around the house all over the place, these may go off. So I'm going to find out. I mean, there's not a lot to really say other than that I will learn by trial and error. And these are fairly expensive. I believe that the sensors are around $40 a piece. So, you only get 2. The ideal configuration then is going to be to put it, I would say, on main points of entry or to use it, as I already said, as a common area motion detection device. These look like mounting brackets if you're not going to actually attach these to doors or windows. And it's really just a matter of how far you want to go. Comes with some mounting hardware in there, some screws. But that's pretty much it. I mean, again, at $250 US, I think this is a no-brainer because even if you aren't worried about your security, which I'm not paranoid, I live in a fairly safe area, but I still don't think it's a bad thing to have. You have the option of actually connecting this to emergency services through, I think it's, again, a $20 fee with Brinks, I think is the company. And if that is something that gives you peace of mind, you have that. If you don't do it, as I mentioned, even if your Wi-Fi network goes out, you will still be able to have this functioning, which is pretty cool. And in addition to that, it is something where, generally speaking, these home security systems aren't really tied to emergency service or any kind of service necessarily. Of course, that varies by manufacturer. And if you have one of these set up, I like that you have the option. I don't think it should be an all or none game. And design cues on this are fine. I think this is right now the highest quality overall system you can buy in its class. And then to, again, get the indoor camera as a bonus, tough to go wrong at $250 US when those Nest indoor cams are in need of a refresh, even though we have the IQ version. I'd like to see them refresh the base version, but they're still selling for over $150 US. So for another $100, it's however you want to look at it. I'm getting a security system as well. So I'll see how it works. Hopefully it plays well with the pets. That's really my biggest hurdle. But I think I'll be able to configure it. And then I'll let all of you know whether or not I end up liking the system. Probably do a follow-up on this and talk about those sensors. These I know I'm definitely going to need more of. These are great to give to guests. If you have children, obviously good. I mean, they're good for anyone that you want to give the ability to enter your home without setting off an alarm. But that rounds things out. Again, this is the Nest Guard. The bundle is formerly, the Indoor Cam Plus, essentially, because you're getting more than the Guard. You're also getting the camera, and I believe the base package is just what you saw here in terms of the Nest Guard with the 2 sensors and 2 tags. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them at that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.